Hi everyone, you're watching my video that's connected to the Writing for Doctoral Studies workshop. This video is about concept mapping, and today I'm going to be showing you one concept mapping tool. It's called CMAP. It's a download from the internet that you can find really easily. I'll walk you through that. There are other concept mapping tools out there, including concept mapping that you can do on Microsoft Office. I just find that a program that's specific to concept mapping works a little bit better than the one in Word or the one that you could do if you have Publisher or another word processing program. So as you can see, it's loaded here on my desktop. This is what the icon looks like once you've downloaded it. But before we jump into that, I'm going to show you quickly where to find it. So just in Google, if you type in CMAP concept mapping, you'll find the website. It's one of the first ones listed. And it's a free download, so if you just go right here to downloads, and you can kind of troll around the website and see some examples, and there's lots of good help that you can find on the website, but first you need to download. So you're going to go to download CMAP tools. And it's a free download, but they do offer a donation option of $10 or more, and then if you'd like to get a physical copy in the mail in the form of a CD, you can also pay for it here. So you just enter in your information and download whatever the version that matches what machine you're using, and it should only take a few minutes to download and get it on your desktop. So once it's here, we're going to open it up, and it's going to start off with this box over here, which is just basically a file cache. Here, this untitled box that comes up, that's where the actual mapping is going to take place. So what I like to do is maximize that. Give it a second. Okay, so as you can see, and you might want to press the little box within a box on where you can see my desktop to make it a little bit larger so you can see what I see at the size. You're going to just simply double click in the center to create a concept, and with that's going to pull up this styles box. So if you like to work in a certain font, or if you want to color code, and this is the color coding for the text, you can do that. So you can kind of manipulate your font over here. But back to the concept, I'm going to start off with a really simple concept and just to build on it, and you know, for your main concept, you may have an assignment that you're doing, you may have just ideas for dissertations in your head. So well, that's super broad, so let's say that you wanted to make just, and this is a nice brainstorming tool, right? You're not going to use this, or I guess you could use it for really formal organization of research, but a tool like a spreadsheet, like I showed you on the video of the spreadsheet for empirical research, or an outline, that's going to give you a little bit more space to really stretch out and show where you got these sources. This concept mapping software lends itself more to idea organization, and your ability to manipulate these ideas on the screen is a lot easier than it would be in an outline or in a spreadsheet. But if you did find extreme comfort in this form of organization, you could certainly add annotations to these ideas. So I can show you how to do that. So let's say you were just playing around and you thought dissertation ideas. So you click there, click out of it, and it gives you these nice little brief instructions off to the side, but if you click on it, you'll see these two arrows. Well, simply grabbing one and pulling it over to the side gives you these prompts, right? So if my first idea, well, I'm really into international students, so I'm going to have that, and this is a concept guide that this little middle part, and it's really prompting you to add in a relational word. So dissertation ideas like international students, or for example, international students. Let's say if you were working your way down and going from a large concept to a smaller concept, you could say like characteristics of ADHD, and then off to the side you would have limited attention span, and then you might have like here, or you might have such as here, and it just allows you to mark some of your concepts. You don't have to use those. It will show up off to the side when I show you the outlining tools. It will show up as a bunch of question marks, but you can simply ignore those. It will still organize your thoughts and go from larger to smaller, even if you don't have these markers. Okay, so back to my dissertation ideas in international students. Well, what about international students? So we might have challenges, and then it's like a rabbit hole. Student challenges, and then we also have the challenges that the institution has. Institutional challenges like training faculty or recruiting or a global curriculum. Student challenges, financial, always. Travel, distance from home. And these are basic, you could really stretch your legs and play with these concepts within concepts within concepts. For instance, from within financial, and by the way, you can leave things blank. So if your mind works a little bit like mine does, if I am in kind of a fury of ideas and it kind of tends to look like scrambled eggs, you're thinking, oh, student challenges, I'm just going to put down financial, and then I'm going to come back to it later, and then you're thinking about something else, and all of a sudden you think, oh, financial also includes money needed for immigration. So international students need to show that they can pay for a year of schooling and of living in order to get an I-20. So that's a lot of money. I would venture to say that a lot of domestic students couldn't show that they could live off of the money that they currently have for a year without earning any additional money. But there are work limitations for international students. So the U.S. government wants to make sure that they've got money to live and not live in poverty while they're here. So money needed for immigration needs. Then there's the usual living expenses. And, of course, tuition for international students is higher at most institutions. Now, let's say we're getting crowded over here, so you wanted to move some of these things. You can just simply grab whatever box you want to move around, and you can see that it moves with you. So if you create a huge concept map that has a lot of nodes, has a lot of boxes, then you can really do a lot and create a large map. And you're working off of a plane here, so this is really beneficial if you think more visually rather than linearly. This is the tool for you. So we've lost our dissertation ideas way back over here, and this is just one rabbit hole. So I'm also into the impact of writing abilities on student success. So I might work to create a concept like that. So the impact of writing abilities on student success. So what majors don't? Oops. And again, you're just thinking along. You're not having these big, well-formed ideas when you're doing a concept map. I don't encourage you to use this as your primary way to organize. Now, let's say you were working and you saw in my outline video the slide that just had an outline of sources, and that is something you could do for a concept map. Just list source names, and then it could outline it for you. So I think, and I'm just going to leave this blank with question marks because I can't think of any majors that don't require at least some writing skills. So you know, my mind has gone blank, I might need to do research on that. So those question marks act like a good marker. So let's go over here, and the Tegrity countdown is kind of blocking it. But this view right here, and you can just simply move over here. It looks like a little notepad. Now you can see it a little bit better. So this is organizing it by propositions, which are by those question marks. So if you were to put those relational words in between your concepts, you could reorganize them by that. Or you could organize them by concept. What I really like with these tools is the outline. So here it's giving you an outline of the ideas that you came up with in your mapping. So if you wanted to convert your map just to an outline form, and see, you know, how will this pan out for a paper? How will this pan out for a dissertation? And maybe you think like this at one stage, and then you want to think linearly, because that's how we write in the West, is on a linear scale. So you want to see it in that form. They really produce a nice outline for you, and you can print this out. And you can export it as a text, which it's in a simple text form. This also can be printed. It can be saved as a picture document. So over here in Tools, you can, in Format and in File, you can convert it over to a JPEG or a picture tool, which allows you to manipulate it. If this is something that you're creating as a visual for part of your dissertation, I used Tinto's model of student persistence. If I wanted to recreate that, because I applied it to the lives of students from Saudi Arabia. So if I wanted to rework Tinto's model, this software would be really great to create one of those flowcharts and really allow you to manipulate things pretty easily. Well, I want to show you one last thing before I leave. So let's say that the money needed for immigration, I've already got a source. So this was the one, you know, I had a couple of dissertation ideas, but this one really panned out. I really want to go with how the financial problems or how the financial struggles of international students affect their success or their progression. So I'm going to start annotating it. So if I go to Tools, Annotate, it's going to give you this nice yellow box. And you can add in a source. So, and this is not a real source, this is just for the purpose of this video. You know, Smith writes an article, you know, about F1 immigration challenges in the 21st century. And then you wanted to continue on the source. So you could add an annotation here, you could add notes, you could add sources here on this tool, and then simply click the minimize, and then you can see that you've got an annotation there. So again, really basic software, really intuitive. There's a great help website that you can go to if you do decide to use this concept mapping software. A lot of great ideas and ways to kind of put your thoughts down on paper, so to speak, or on the screen, and in a very quick way. So if you really don't think linear right away, this is a way to at least get thoughts down and start to get organized. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you look at my other videos on how to organize resources and organize your thoughts.